Hey friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we are actually sewing up the Be the Leader top, and it's the one with this really neat flounce. So I know that sometimes we have a little bit of a hard time cutting the flounce of the double fold, because the first time I saw where it said double fold, I was a little bit confused with what that actually means. That actually means that you fold the fabric twice, so you'll have it on two folds. Now with the double fold, you can actually cut it on the fold twice, and then if you don't have enough fabric altogether, you can cut it on the fold twice, so the edges just leave a little bit of extra for seam allowance. But it's meant to be cut on the double fold, so it'll come around like a circle, like a full circle. So I'm going to show you how to cut on the double fold before we get started. So I'm going to tilt you down so you can see. Hopefully my camera doesn't move too much. And here I have my beautiful fabric. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously find out where the stretch is. So my most stretch goes this way. So I'm laying out my fabric. Here's my fabric. And my stretch is going, it will stretch the most this way. My grain line is going this way, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it first. One fold. And when I make this fold, I'm going to measure out. I already cut out the rest of my top, so you can see like my fabric is not whole. And I traced out my pattern, so this is why you're seeing this mess of a trace out. And anyway, so here is my one fold right here, and it's along that folded edge. I just folded that fabric right there. You can see that's where I folded. And then it comes to the edge right here, almost to the end of, this is where my other pieces overlap. So it's like overlapped. Here's my one fold. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my fabric at the corners right here. You see it coming over? And I'm going to fold it again. So there we go. We have one fold on this side, and now we're going to have a fold on this side as well. I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to have to pull it up a little bit so that it'll cover my whole flounce. Here's one fold, and here's the other one. Not quite enough, so we got to pull it a little bit more. Make sure all the sides are even, all the fabric is even, or your flounce will not work out right. Okay, and I know I left just enough fabric when I was cutting. I kind of measured just to make sure that I was gonna have enough fabric for the flounce. So this should be good right here. So now you see that you have one fold right here. Let me move it more this way so you can see it. You have one fold right here. Okay, and then you have a fold right here as well on the two corners. So fold and fold. So that's the double fold. So I'm going to put that down. Okay, and now I'm going to cut my fabric. And we should have like a perfect circle right here on this one. And really, it'd be kind of cute if you just left it like this, and you can cut a little piece right here, and it will be like a perfect little circle skirt for a doll. So you can use that leftover for a doll skirt, and that's what I will use with that. And then I'm gonna cut down here. So now, like I said, on the fold flounce, if you didn't have enough fabric to fold and fold, you could just cut on the one fold and then cut again on the fold, and then you would have two pieces, and then you would have to sew them on the sides. But this is it. That was the fold, double fold. And there it is, my flounce. I'm gonna open it up so you can see it. Here it is. This is gonna be my flounce. This top is actually for my sister, so I'm doing a size bigger, so that's why it's kind of falling off. But yeah, this is the flounce. She's having the longer flounce. She's a little bit more blessed in this area than I am, so that's why she needs a little bit of longer flounce. She just wants it to be nice and cute. But look, this is it. Now we're gonna go ahead and actually put our top together. Hey friends, so now that we have everything all cut out, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, okay, I have my top, And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach our sleeves. So I'm going with short sleeves today, but you know, if you're doing the long sleeve, whatever size sleeve you're doing, this is the same, you're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna put it raw sides together. This is where my little sleeve area is. I'm going to put my sleeve right in there. And I'm gonna pin and sew, and I'm doing the same thing for this side and the other side, and I already have my other one attached. You're just spinning them together and sewing at the raw edge. I am using my serger, but if you do not have a serger, you can use your sewing machine with a zigzag stitch, stretch stitch. It will work just fine. Okay. And now that we have it attached to the front, I'm going to attach them to the back, so it's the same way. So what I'll do is I'll put my back on my board, face up. It's not face up, this is face up. Sometimes it's hard to see on these fabrics. This is bamboo, and I worked with bamboo, I think only one other time. I love the feel of bamboo. It matches my lipstick. It is so soft. It's soft and it's kind of silky, and it's not really see-through. I mean, it's just really nice. It's not as thick as double brush poly, and it has more of a drape. So I really like it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the other side of that sleeve, as you can see right here, the shape of the sleeve, and I'm put it right sides together on top of that sleeve, the arm side. I guess is what it's called, not a sleeve hole. Sleeve hole. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, so I go ahead and pin it now, and I'm gonna sew both sides together. I mean, not both sides together, I'm gonna sew both sleeves. I'm gonna sew one and then I'll sew the other one just at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew those up with my, make sure you're grabbing both fabrics as you're doing it. You don't want to leave a gap. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side, other sleeve. This is actually a really easy top to sew. It looks complicated because it's like so cute and flouncy and awesome. I feel great. You're gonna be like, that's it? Yeah, that's it. All right, we're basically halfway done. So our sleeves are on. Make sure when you put your sleeves on them, put them on backwards so that you end up with like a twisted back. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pin right here where it's the seam, the arm seam at the armpit, and go all the way down my sleeve, and then I'm gonna go down my top all the way, matching those raw edges right sides together. And I'm gonna do this for the one side and the other side. I'm doing it for both sides. Both sides. This top is for my sister. I think she's gonna love it. I love it. I might just keep it. Do you have that issue? Like you sew for people? It's so hard for me to sew for someone else. It's so selfish. But like I'll sew something for someone else and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that. Which is a good thing, right? I always want to keep the stuff I sew. But I'm going to give this one to her. I'm going to be kind. Alright, I'm going to go sew those edges. Sew the edges. I put my pins usually farther in when I'm sewing. That way I don't have to remove them as I'm sewing my fabrics together. I just remove them at the end. Some of them I do have to remove if they're a little bit too close to the edge because I don't want it to go through my serger and break my serger or fly out at my eyeball. I am terrified of that. But most of the time, yes, I pin. It also depends on the fabric. Some fabrics lend themselves to that, to do that. But then some fabrics you can't do that with because they'll slide, slide. So you can't do that with every fabric, but the ones I can do it with, I do it with. This is easier. I hate removing pins as I go. Like, I don't want to stop. I just want to go fast. It's like when I drive. To slow down. Make myself slow down. Don't go so fast. Okay, so now that my top is on, we're going to go ahead and divide it into quarters because I'm going to attach my flounce, so I want to make sure that it's all even. So we'll go to the front, and I do a little snippety snap, just a little tiny bit, and to the back. If you want to just put a clip or a pin on there to mark it, that's fine as well. I just do a little clip that will be, once you attach things on it, you won't be able to even see it. It's tiny. So then I knit the front and the back and go to the sides. And 1 and 2. And I'm telling you, I just I don't like to just pin it, because I feel like my pin can fall off or my clip can fall off when I'm serging. And if I have the little clip on there and it's not something that's going to be noticeable, then you won't be able to lose it. Like if my pin comes off, I still see the little tuck, the little cut right there. So I'm doing the same to the flounce. One side and then the other side. And then I'm going to meet those two front and backs together. And I'm going to go to one side and the other side. And that's it. Now, oh, I missed a step. See, here it is. This is how I get, let me just finish doing this because I'm on a roll right now, finding these sides. But I get on a roll and then I miss steps. Okay, so with the flounce, this pattern is meant for the flounce to be raw at the end. If you want to hem it, I mean, it's up to you, but it's just meant to be raw. But right now, if you want to go ahead and take the time and sew your hems on your sleeves and your bodice. So it's going to be, oh, I shouldn't have turned it around so I can show you. It's going to be 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's what we do for our hem. So I'm going to fold it, wrong sides together, 1/2 inch, steam, and hem. I don't usually measure my hem because I feel like I know what 1/2 inch is. I just eyeball it. And it usually turns out fine, usually. So yeah, 1/2 inch. I'm gonna go around and hem. So let me go ahead and get my hemming done, and then we'll come back and attach the flounce, and we are basically done. Really, all we have to do now is attach the flounce and put the elastic in, and that's it. So let me go ahead and finish hemming this in my sleeves, and then we'll come back. Now for hemming, oh, let me tell you that. For hemming, you can use a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine, stretch stitch. You can use a cover stitch if you have one, which is what I'll be doing. Or you can use a double needle if you have a double needle. Or if you do, I would recommend on your sleeves you need a little bit of stretch for your sleeves to go over the body, the arm. If you do this, then you can if you want. I've done it before where you make a longer straight stitch so it just looks like a straight stitch, but your stitches might pop. So I would do a zigzag stitch with the same color thread, or you can do anyway. So that's what you can do now with the but the bottom of the bodice is not a tight fit, so you could get away with that a little bit more than you could on the sleeves. But it's really up to you, and like I said, it won't have stretch, so it will probably pop. So the best option to do it would be a zigzag stitch or a double needle or something like that. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and do the rest. Alright, now that my top is hemmed, sleeves and bottom, I'm going to go ahead and attach the flounce. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my flounce wrong side to the right side of the bodice, matching up those points that I made. There's one. Here is another one. does not have to be gathered. So that's a relief. I hate gathering. So that's always good when I get a cute pattern that does not need gathered. Does not need gathering. So I'm attaching right sides of the flounce. I mean right sides of the top to the wrong side of the flounce. So it's like this. Ooh, you can already see it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and serge that on. I'm serging the edge. You can zigzag stitch, whatever you would like to do. If you want to do zigzag stitch instead of serging so it's not bulky, you can do that too. I like the zigzag finish, the serger finish. I'm going to start and I'm going to just hold it right here. You shouldn't need to stretch or anything, so just go slowly. Make sure that both sides are on. And I say slowly, but don't really listen to myself. Alright, next quarter point. And make sure that you're keeping everything away from it. So you're just attaching it to the bodice. Keep all the other parts of the shirt out of the way so you don't make a hole in your shirt and attach it where you don't want to attach it. That will be really sad. I have a little bit of a wrinkle here. Get out of the way. Go, next section. Again, same thing. Get everything else out of the way so that you don't cut anything. And our last section. Almost there. Almost there. Oops. Alright, this part is important because I need to make sure that I attach my bodice to my top everywhere. Sometimes I get a little bit too ahead of myself. I go too fast and then I end up leaving a gap. It looks good. Okay, our top is basically finished. Now we need to attach our elastic. How we're gonna do that is we're going to actually make a casing. And it's gonna be, the casing is gonna be 3/4 of an inch. So we're gonna grab our flounce and we're gonna flip it back into the bodice 3/4 of an inch in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my ruler and I'm gonna go ahead and measure 3/4 of an inch and I'm gonna fold that down. And once I fold that down, I'm going to top stitch it either with a serger or with a top stitch, zigzag stitch, whatever you want to do it with, and we're gonna create a casing. Okay. And now what you can do is, if you want to move the flounce up out of the way so that you can only see the stitching on the inside and then the flounce just kind of cascades on top, you can do that. If you want to hold it down and so that the stitching is all the way, both the top layer and the bottom layer, you can do that as well. It's up to you because it's going to be folded on all the way around, so you can do it that way either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 3/4 of an inch this way. I'm gonna fold it down and then I'm gonna measure 3/4 of an inch. And there it is. I'm getting so good at measuring, I don't even need to look. And pin. And you're gonna do that all the way around. And we're going to leave a inch or 2 gap right here where we're gonna insert our elastic. So you're gonna go all the way around and then you're gonna top stitch it, but you're gonna leave a gap where you will insert your elastic. I want my elastic to fit. So I don't wanna like get cocky and not measure and then my elastic not fit in there. That would not be good. I'm going all the way around
folding that, making sure my fabric is not all folded in itself, because sometimes it tries to do that, especially this wonderful thin fabric that I love. Going all the way around. So let me finish going all the way around pinning this, and then we'll come back and sew it, and we'll insert the elastic, close up the gap, and we'll be done. Alright, so now that it's all pinned all the way around, you see it's pinned all the way around, I'm gonna go ahead and sew it all the way around. I'm using my cover stitch to sew it. Start in the back. And I'm gonna leave that 2-inch gap so that I don't close it and I can fit my elastic through it. Alright, so I went all around, pinned it, and then I top stitch it. If you can see it, I'll show you. It's top stitched. You can't really tell. I mean, you can see it from this side, the top stitching right there. And so now that I left my spot in the back to fit my elastic, so I have my elastic right here. And I'm using a pin right here, clothespin. It's a small one. I need to get a big one. You've seen my videos. You know I stick with this old one. I need to get a big one. I keep saying that and I just haven't. Every time, you know, you go to the store, you buy fabric, you buy big notions, you buy things you need, you buy thread, but then you forget the little things that you only use every once in a while. I'm fitting this pin elastic through the little hole. I'm going all the way around. Hopefully it'll go smoothly. Going smoothly. Hopefully it'll be good. Do you have, what do you struggle with the most? I struggle with threading this stuff. I don't know why. My pin always seems to pop open. It doesn't do a right thing. It's annoying. What is the one thing? I also will say ruffles. I hate ruffles. So it was kind of nice that we don't have to gather this top at all. The flounce, it just kind of latches on. So that was kind of nice. So I was happy about that. What do you struggle with? Like, what is the thing that you don't like to do? I'll add to that. I'll say putting my pattern together. I like once my pattern is already put together and then I start to sew. I'm gonna have to hire like a professional pattern put it together. You know what, they do have, I've seen plenty of people go get their patterns, print their patterns, and so I might have to start doing that. You see what I told you? My pin is stuck, which means I'm gonna have to pull it out and put it back in. Why does it do that? It gets stuck and it gets, oh, there it is. It came unstuck. It's really annoying. All right, well, let me go ahead and finish this up because you don't want to sit there and watch me fix my pin this whole day. So let me do that. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and sew the elastic together and we'll be done. All right, I finally got it out on the other side. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab both of these. We're gonna overlap them 1/4 inch together, and I'm gonna do it with my sewing machine. I'm gonna do a zigzag stitch back and forth, just over that those two elastics, just to put them together. So I'm doing zigzag stitch, wrong foot, back and forth. Okay. And now that they're zigzag back and forth, I'm just gonna fit it right in there. And I'm gonna go back and close up that 2-inch gap right there where where we left the 2-inch gap for the elastic to go in. I'm just gonna close it up. Trying to get it even so it will be right even Steven. And so you can't see what I did when I pull it out. And now we're gonna go ahead and trim all those little tails. Trim. sew in any tails that you need to sew in. Trim the elastic, let the elastic even out. That's what I mean, I didn't mean trim, I mean let the elastic even out, and your top is done. Here's my top, it's done. How cute is this top? I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know below if you have any questions. If you have not joined our Facebook page, we'd love for you to join us. We have all the information, all the links and everything are below. Join our Facebook page, our Instagram page, so we can see all your makes and you can see everything that we're making over at Ellie and Mac. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!